Hi, my name is Alyssa and this is a story of how Jesus saved my life. So I grew up in the church. I started going to Grace when I was 4 years old. I actually prayed the prayer with my grandma around that time, probably when I was 5. And from that moment, I believed that I was saved by Jesus because that's what you hear and that's what you're supposed to do. Pray the prayer and ask Jesus to come into your heart. So I, grew up in the church, attended Awana, Bible study. I started volunteering in the nursery. I went to junior high group and then high school group. But there was no evidence or fruit in my life of being saved by the gospel of Jesus Christ. So when I went into high school, I really started to see the pleasures of this world and just gave into the things that I wanted and not what Jesus wanted. And I had no guilt or shame for any of the things that I was pursuing, whether that was just being liked by friends, I searched for the approval from guys and from other girls with what I wore, and just I thought that was what was normal, and I don't feel like I even had a concept of what the gospel meant because I was so active in sin and in my rebellion towards God. And so it wasn't until I was 18 years old that I went up to Hume the summer after my senior year. And I feel like that was the time that God started to open my eyes to the truth about what he says in the Bible and things that I had not understood until that point. So there was a missionary speaking, and he began to talk about the people groups in other parts of the world that had never even heard the name Jesus. And I just remember hearing those words and being absolutely broken over the fact that I was hearing the word Jesus every Sunday and every Wednesday at church and youth group, and I was living clearly not a saved life and not the way the Lord wanted to. And so I actually broke down that night and I was just sobbing, feeling so guilty. And I remember that was really my first experience with the feeling of guilt. So over the next 3 years, God really worked in my heart. It took a long time, but he just opened my eyes to just the truth about what he says about his love for us and his grace and his mercy, but just how we can't live this life for ourselves. We have to live for him. And so one of the verses that really has stood out to me and has been with me throughout the years is Luke 9:23, and it says, "And he said to all," and this is Jesus talking, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." And that just is just a representation of what I had to remind myself every day is I need to deny myself and I need to live for Jesus. And I had to go through a lot of struggling through just guilt for prior sins and working through that. But God has really just transformed my life in a radical way. And through all of those experiences, I truly believe he uses them for good. And now I serve in high school ministry, and I have a passion for just I look at the high school group and I think back to when I was in high school, and I just hope that I'm able to encourage the high schoolers because I don't want anyone out there to be how I was. So yeah, that's how Jesus saved my life.